Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well and thanks for being here. This is a timeless reading that's for somebody out there. My intention is that it will find the person or people it's meant for and at the right time. It's definitely not intended to be for everyone, so if the storyline that emerges isn't resonating with you, it's probably not for you. You can still watch the whole reading. It's always an intention of mine that anyone who's drawn to one of my readings will gain something from it. That could be an insight, a piece of wisdom, or just the opportunity to see something from a different perspective. So if you happen to be here, I think you're meant to be here. All right, we'll get started in a moment. We'll just quickly do a love pause first. So this is where we pause the video and send some love out into the universe. You can also do this as a Ho'oponopono prayer instead. Now that involves saying the 4 sentences: thank you, I love you, I'm sorry, and please forgive me. So thank you to everyone who participates in that. So the time to pause is now, and I'll be starting the reading on the next slide. Okay, so here we are. This is the spread for this reading. If you're interested in the decks that I've used here, I'll have them listed in the description box. Now the card at the bottom of the deck is the Wheel of Fortune, so that's lovely for a start. The Wheel of Fortune is a Jupiter card and it's associated with positive changes, a positive change in fortune. So it's about luck, blessings, good things that happen that you couldn't have predicted. And I often see this as something that's happening in divine timing as well. The card in the past position here is the Chariot card, which is Cancer energy. And this is fast focused movement towards a particular outcome or a destination. So I feel like in the past, this person knew exactly what they wanted and they were very determined to get there. But unfortunately, I don't think that they did, because the card in the present position is sort of indicating that, it just didn't happen. I just had the words life happened pop into my head. So that's how my clairaudience comes in, just like little words flash in my mind. But the card here is the 10 of Wands, which is about heavy burdens that have ended up on this person's shoulders. So their life got hard. It got really hard. So life happened to them. And so if they had a dream in the past, they might actually have had to give that up, or they might have just been too weighed down to keep working on it or progressing with it. So it's kind of sad. So that's the energy now. But even though there's that sadness there, the 10 of Wands, it's actually not a bad card. Like, it shows someone struggling, but it's the end of the suit of Wands. So it's actually the end of that difficult journey. And in the traditional image, you see it a bit more clearly, because the person is obviously bent under the weight of the wands that they're carrying, but they're actually reaching the place where they'll be able to put the wands down. So it's almost over. Now, looking at this image here, it looks like this person has been carrying others. So they had people who were depending on them to get by. So maybe they had young children or aging parents, or perhaps, someone in the family was injured or became very ill and they had to step into the role that person had, as well as whatever they're doing as well. So they just ended up very heavily burdened. Now, the card in the future position is the 6 of Swords, which is actually a nice card considering we're coming off the 10 of Wands. So this is about someone who is moving away from a turbulent situation and moving towards something calmer. And I tend to see this as the universe guiding someone into an easier future. So in the traditional image, the person is actually a passenger in the boat along with their child. So there might still be people who are dependents, but it's like everyone's being taken care of by the universe at this point. So even though this looks like it could be a slow period of transition, it's actually also, I can see that it's beneficial, because it's giving this person a chance to rest and recover from that heavy journey that they've just completed. And as a passenger, obviously, they can just relax. There's nothing for them to do. They can breathe and they can start to appreciate the good things again. So this slow transition phase, it's perhaps a blessing in itself. And that's bringing me to an interesting point, is that even though we had the Wheel of Fortune, which seems like it's a big blessing, none of these 3 cards here are specifically talking about a blessing. So I don't know if that's saying that this is the beginning of the blessings and they will come in later. But I'm also getting that maybe this ease, like this time where they can just be a passenger, this relaxed time is part of the blessing. So that could actually be true, because looking at the two cards before this card, before like the first two cards, past and present, this person has worked hard. I really feel that they've always worked hard. So in that Chariot energy, they were working hard to make something happen, to make a dream come true. And then in the Ten of Wands card, they're working hard because they had so many people to look after, so much to look after. So perhaps this blessing really is the universe giving them a chance to rest and relax and do the things they want to do and take care of the things that they need to take care of for themselves. So that's really interesting. I guess if I had to think of an example, maybe this person worked for the family business and then the business gets sold and they've received a lump sum of money, and because of how worn out they are, they just decide to take some time off rather than rush out to find a new job. And so this is the point they're at now. This is the Ten of Wands, getting rid of this family business, putting that load down. And once they've done it, they enter this Six of Swords kind of energy. So maybe when they first sold the business and they had that money, they weren't sure how long they could take time off for, but they're actually finding perhaps that they're doing okay because of this money. So maybe now that they're not working that job, they're actually saving a lot of money because they can do things for themselves and their lifestyle has changed very dramatically. Maybe they used some of that lump sum money to pay off their own mortgage and they've invested the rest. And so not only do they no longer have a mortgage, they're actually earning some money from this money that they've invested. So maybe they're even in this position where what they're getting as investment income is enough to cover their expenses. So, for example, if they previously needed $5,000 a month to pay their mortgage and all their expenses, they're now finding that they can get by on $3,000 a month, and actually they're getting that money from the investment. So the blessing I'm feeling could be something like that. It's like the universe has put them in a financial position where they can rest for as long as they need to because there's no financial pressure for them to get back to work. And so if at some point they decide they do want to do something, even then they could probably just find something that they enjoy doing because, financially they're okay. They don't actually need to be in a high-paying job or anything like that. And now that I think about it, that actually does sound like a huge blessing, doesn't it? So it's funny, there is a huge blessing, but it wasn't in your face a huge blessing. And maybe the fact that I didn't see it earlier is also saying that maybe this person hasn't seen it yet because they're still in this Ten of Wands energy because that's the present energy. So it's something... so this is a blessing this person doesn't see coming at all. So this could be like if they did sell the family business, maybe it was because they were just too worn out to continue. And so they, in themselves, in their mind, they feel like they've failed, because they had this burden of the family business and then they failed in their ability to carry it through. So maybe in their mind, it's showing up as they're feeling like they've failed and, they're a broken sort of person at this point. But really what they're not going to see, what's going to come is that it's actually a blessing for them that they sold this business. So not only did they let go of this business that was taking so much of their time and energy, by selling this business, they're going to end up financially independent. So it's a blessing, but when it first happens, they're not seeing it. So that's really interesting, and it almost makes me think that if anyone is watching this, maybe have a think about your life and see if there are things that are just lose in every respect, and maybe we're better off getting rid of those things and we'll benefit just by letting that go. We often don't think about what we can let go because we're caught up in the rat race, so to speak. We're all on this hamster wheel where all we're thinking about is to keep things moving, and this is a story I've shared in the past with people. So I think that the COVID-19 lockdown period really had a huge impact on my perspectives in relation to what I wanted from life. So I know being in lockdown sucked for a lot of people, but for me it felt amazing because I finally had time to myself and I had time to spend with my family. And as an introvert, I actually just loved being at home and not having to deal with people that I didn't want to deal with. And to be honest, because I was no longer on the hamster wheel, like everything had just stopped, I realized that the reason I was loving that experience of a simple, uncomplicated life was because that was the life I actually wanted for myself. And really, it was a very different life to the life I'd been leading prior to COVID-19. So I guess I credit those like lockdowns with showing me the direction I wanted to move in, and to be honest, all the decisions I've made in the years after that have all been about aligning with this future that I actually identified that I wanted. So I wanted a peaceful, quiet, and uncomplicated life, and so all of my decisions have been sort of to get me onto that track, and those decisions have made me so much happier. So I think it was the right thing. So along with this storyline, I mean, I just wanted to give you a personal example, but what we might initially see as a bad thing, like we thought lockdown was a terrible thing, but that bad thing is actually the thing that's going to change our lives for the better. So I do feel like maybe in this reading, it's the same kind of experience. So this person thinks, oh my God, I've failed. I've had to sell the family business, but it's going to be the beginning of a much better time in their life. Now, I haven't talked about the oracle cards at all, but looking at them, I do feel like these are all things for this person to focus on during this period of time when they've sold the business and they have some time to themselves. So the first card is a crystal card, Prenite, I think is how you say it. I don't know. But this is a heart chakra stone, and the words, there are some keywords on it, and they are release and declutter. So I can see that as a good idea, actually, because when you think about it, if someone has gone through all that this person has gone through, I doubt they've had a chance to keep things organized in their life. So maybe if they had that old dream that they had to give up on, there are still things, and they had to give up on it, because there were circumstances beyond their control. So there might still be things in their house that relate to that old dream or that period of their life. And if that's not something they're going back to, that's all unnecessary stuff that they've got in their house. So they might want to clear all that out. And also in this 10 of Wands phase where they were just, so busy, so burdened, like they wouldn't have had time to sort anything out or clear anything out. So with this being a heart chakra card here, I feel like it would actually be very healing for them to get their own lives in order and release the old stuff. I mean, it would even make it feel like finally I have my life back, because if you've spent time in this phase where it's been about looking after other people and neglecting yourself, even just that experience of, oh, finally I have time to sort out things in my own life, that would make you feel so much better. It would make you feel so much better to have a tidier home, a more organized home, where everything is just where you want it and everything is how you want it to be. It would make that space more yours. So I just feel like it's all about getting your life back. If you're in this energy of releasing, decluttering, finally getting things in order in your own life. Now, this is the number 33 card, and that's not a number I normally ignore. It's actually the master teacher number in numerology. Now, I'm not seeing how it relates to this particular spread, but like I said, I don't normally ignore that number, so it is something I'm looking at as maybe significant. So maybe this person, once they've gone through their recovery period, maybe there's something that they're going to be doing later that's going to be quite significant. And because of that, they might actually be glad that they had this time to sort their lives out and declutter and so on. So I don't know, maybe they'll get into some kind of work that they're going to be setting up in their own home, for example. Or it could be that, because we do have that Six of Swords with the boat, so maybe they're going to end up moving, and obviously if you're moving, you'll be very glad to not have as much stuff to deal with as part of that move. So they may actually be glad later for the decluttering that they managed to do in this recovery time. with this person, like, it's quite hard to see what their future path is. So I guess anything is possible for them at this point in time, because, you know, they've sort of, they're sort of at ground zero now, like, you know, and, you know, where they could go in any direction really is what I'm feeling. The second oracle card here is She Who Dreams, and it's got the keywords escape, dreams, and fantasy. And this is a fairy in this card. The name on this card is Isra. Now, I don't know if that's relevant to anything. It's not a name I've encountered before. Now, if the R was an L, I guess I would say that was the name Isla. So totally different pronunciation. Maybe this is Ira, I don't know. But also I'm seeing those letters ISRA, and it's like the start of Israel, isn't it? And as I said that, I thought of the name Ezra, which is a Hebrew name, isn't it? So I don't know, maybe there's some sort of connection there to something. But this card, She Who Dreams, is about allowing yourself to imagine. So this person might be encouraged to perhaps imagine what they'd like to experience in their future. But it could also be, like, imagination is so important to creativity as well. So maybe this is a creative person, and they're being encouraged to start using their imagination to create. This is a fairy in this image as well, so maybe this is someone who could write children's, you know, books, or become an artist who creates, you know, fantasy themed art. As I say that, I'm actually picturing, you know, those tarot and oracle decks that relate to fairies and magical creatures, you know. So there are actually jobs in our real world that are for people who create from their fantastic imaginations. So I guess I can't even rule that out as a possibility for this person's future. Now, even the images in this tarot deck, because I'm talking about it now, like even these images, this is fantasy. I mean, these are crows being shown in these scenes. So, yeah, it could be something, I don't know, something creative that is based on imagination and fantasy. And finally, the last oracle card here is Mercury, which is actually the ruler of two houses, so the third and the sixth houses in astrology. And that's because Mercury rules both Gemini and Virgo. Now, Mercury is also the planet associated with the Magician card in tarot. So you know how I keep getting that vibe of anything's possible. So this is someone, I think, you know, they're at this point where there's so much potential, and, you know, really it's up to them to choose where they want to go. They're the Magician energy is what I'm getting. So the keywords on this card, so I did say Mercury relates to two houses, but these all seem to relate to the third house. So what we've got here are think, learn, network, and communicate. Now, the sixth house would be more things like health and well-being and daily routines and habits. So I do think that's actually important for this person as well. But the focus is here on the third house. And so I do, I guess what Spirit is saying is this person needs to keep expanding intellectually, and they need to keep engaging with others as well. The word network sort of jumped out at me. So maybe there are going to be people this person meets who will be important on their path. So these might be supporters. So like if they start doing something creative, these people might be supporters, or they might be people who actually introduce them to new opportunities. Or, you know, again, with the creativity aspect, maybe these are people they can collaborate with in terms of doing their work. So that's definitely another interesting thing to come through with this oracle message. So yes, I do just feel like anything's possible for this person, and I do feel like there's something more to come, definitely, because all of those cards are kind of giving you that sense of there's more, there's something extra. And so this is the Wheel of Fortune energy, I guess, is, you know, they've obviously got this financial independence as a blessing, and that's already happened or is happening, but there's more. I think that Wheel of Fortune, there's going to be more that happens. Their life has changed, and this is just the beginning is what I'm feeling. So at this point in time, all they have to do is rest, because the universe knows they need a break. So the universe is going to say to this, is basically saying to this person, you know, take as much time as you need to rest and recover. And as I say that, I'm also thinking about, obviously, if this is a creative person, in order to be creative again, they really need to feel restored and revitalized. Like their spirit, they need to feel spiritually whole again before they can start creating, because you definitely can't be creative if you're physically, emotionally, and spiritually drained and exhausted, which is where they are, that's that 10 of Wands energy. So, they're really burned out, and this period of rest is really to restore them, to give them their strength back, give them their vitality back. And when they're in that strong position again, then that creativity will start flowing. So it's, this is just a well-needed break is what I'm getting, and the universe is more than happy for this person to have it. So they haven't realized that the blessings are beginning, but it's happening. So this is a nice story, isn't it? Wow, I actually really enjoyed that reading. I hope you guys did too. But this is our last slide. This is where I say my thank yous. So thank you to you if you're here watching. If you like my videos, please consider subscribing to the channel. Your support and the support of all my existing subscribers is greatly appreciated. If you're new and you enjoyed this video, please give the video a like or leave a comment if you feel guided to. And that's it. I hope that I'll see you all in another video in the future. Take care, everyone. Bye.